We're going to be looking at some deep price analysis across Bitcoin, Kaspa, global M2, Ethereum dominance, altcoins, everything. So let's start this video. Scan the QR code or use this promo code in the description to get $75 free money in Kraken. Create an account in Kraken. It's the best place to buy Kaspa. And of course, the best hard wallet, cold wallet, Tangem, 10% off with promo code Scape. Here's the macro trend of Kaspa. Of course, the bottom was in. Absolutely, the bottom was in. So now we're in a consolidation period, a transition from this bear market, a bear cycle, to a bit of a volatile place before the massive bull run. Now, there's a lot of indications why that's happening, what's happening. So ETH dominance, with respect to Bitcoin dominance, we already see the bottom happen. The bottom happened, and now we are starting that breakout. Yeah, it could still take, look at this. This is the 3-month chart. Every single candle here represents 3 months. So yeah, it could take some time to consolidate. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen, especially looking at Kaspa here. I think it could take at least 1 more month for the consolidation to happen. And in that time frame, I'm thinking it's very reasonable to see a retest as low as 8.5 cents. I'm not saying it could happen, but I'm just saying there's a consolidation that needs to happen during this period. And while we consolidate, the longer we consolidate, the more explosive the rise is going to be. You see, as this is starting to move upward gradually, slowly but surely right now, as the trend in the slope increases, that's going to be exponential. It's going to be explosive price gains. And right now, we're in the volatile. If you're questioning whether this really is the bull run, well, take a look at the M2, the global liquidity of the entire world, and it is continuing to rise. This has been fueling the rise of crypto, especially as hard money. Bitcoin, King Bitcoin, well, we all know it's going to be King Kaspa real soon, but, Bitcoin leads, and that's healthy, and that's normal, and that's what we like to see. This right here is going to be like Q4 2025, and I think very much it can be basically confirmation for altcoin season. Of course, Kaspa season. This can very much power that. There's a lot of room for Bitcoin to grow, and it's going to be, I think, a much more fair value for Bitcoin to reach this 170,000 range. Not just because it says it here with the global M2, but because you look at various indicators and you look at with respect to gold, and that's going to place it at a much more fair value for this season. Take a look at this. Kaspa report, showed this. This represents the log chart, log scaled candlesticks of the years 2022 to 2025 for Kaspa and 2012 to 2015, the early days of Bitcoin, and they look identical. What did Bitcoin do from here? Well, it exploded. That's what it did. So going into 2026, I absolutely believe Kaspa is going to explode, similar how Bitcoin had such explosive growth in its early days. Now we look at total market cap excluding the top 10, basically looking at the altcoin market. Again, it is already seeing this macro uptrend, not just an uptrend, but macro uptrend and confirmation of the uptrend. So are we going to retest and basically have like a triple bottom or like a rising low? No, I don't think we have to see that because the trend is already moving up. Like if it was moving down, then yeah, if the macro trend was like really like downward, then yeah, sure we could, but it's not even flat anymore. The macro trend is continuing to move up. That's why I think even looking back at Kaspa, something like a very small, like even a point, like even right here, it might just hit this and move back up. But it's still very reasonable to see a retest of 9 cents, 8.5 cents. It doesn't need to go down to here. I think a lot of people maybe are trying to wait for a triple bottom floor. This is basically a double bottom. This is triple bottom. What do you want to call it? Quadruple bottom? But like a bowl shaped round at bottom, higher lows. Maybe people are looking to get in back at around 7.5, 8 cents. But I don't think that's going to happen. Sure, anything could happen in crypto, but again, you have to keep in mind what the macro trend is doing. And if it's really moving upward, then you have to follow that. And you see right here, like, sure, it could fall back down, retest something like this, and continue to move up. That's what I think is going to happen. You'll take a look at this as well. Total 2 divided by total. Again, basically another indication, another chart for the altcoins and their dominance across crypto. Look at this. A fair value is going to explode up. There's a lot of room to grow. It's just clear as day. And we know that, yeah, a lot of altcoins, they pretty much suck, okay? Yeah, I'm not trying to be a hater, but I'm looking at like technology as what's the best technology. And there's a lot of technology out there that is more well adopted or more well received by institutions and investors because of the way it was launched. VCs and these type of allocations, team allocations, investor allocations, pre-sales, all of that is traditional finance. And that's why a lot of these other tokens, a lot of L1s, that's why they can see a lot more attention, maybe a little bit more mainstream. I mean, gosh, look at XRP, over 45 or something like that percent of the entire supply of the coin is owned by the XRP Foundation. I mean, it's worse than a meme coin. It's worse than like every single meme coin, popular meme coin that I know of. It's literally worse than that. Sure, its technology isn't that bad, but compared to Kaspa, it's nowhere on the same playing field. So when I'm looking at these, altcoin charts here, yeah, they're looking good, but look at Kaspa and there's just so much higher room to grow because the technology is just, it's the best of the crypto industry. Nothing can compete with Kaspa's level, like of being proof of work. The same, so we have Bitcoin security and it matches that. It matches Bitcoin security. Technically it actually improves on Bitcoin security by, margins. When you look at like the vast extremes, looking at like 51 or 49% attacks, Kaspa is slightly more secure. But anyways, that aside, we look at decentralization compared to Bitcoin, and Kaspa is arguably more decentralized than Bitcoin. Okay, nodes aside, look at how the mining is much more decentralized on Kaspa compared to Bitcoin, because you could have home miners, you receive rewards. It's not, you don't have to rely on pools to feel like to get your rewards. Rather than on Bitcoin, it's like basically like a lottery ticket to get a mined block. That's why it's so much pool mining on Bitcoin, and pools are centralized, are very centralized. They have the hashing power very centralized, and they could use that in a damaging way to the whole network. I mean, of course they don't want to, but it's always that inherent risk for centralization. And that's why Kaspa with the home miners, the mining decentralization is a huge aspect of Kaspa. And then of course the scalability, 6,000 times faster. I mean, geez, you 6,000 times faster than Bitcoin, about 2.5 to 3 times faster than Solana, which has been like, the fastest one, before all this, before Kaspa is 10 BPS. So the fact that it's faster than Solana with Bitcoin security and even improving on Bitcoin's foundational decentralization, man, it's, of course we know what's going to happen with Kaspa. Bitcoin maxis are wetting their pants currently. You got to research it. You got to research to really understand. So altcoin season is looking good. Kaspa is looking even better. And we already know what's going to happen next. And of course, what are we doing here? We're buying Nacho. That's what we're doing. And maximize your exposure to Kaspa with the leading largest meme coin. It's Nacho. And yeah, you could invest where other meme coins that you like, but it's like Nacho is just the safest, is most community and decentralized, like community run and decentralized, because there's not just a single person that runs. Yeah, sure, Ashton is an incredible voice for Nacho, incredible leader, but like you don't need a single creator, for example. You don't need a single person that created Nacho. You don't need any of them in order to continue running Nacho. Like, okay, the AI may not appeal as much, it may not look as great, the AI images, AI graphics, but anyone can do it. It is built to last. It doesn't need you to pay for it. Anyone could just get the AI. There's free AI everywhere. It's so easy just to make a little AI image of Nacho. But the core foundation, the core values is what makes it so strong. The community behind it is what makes it built to last. It's building utility, it's building infrastructure, and that's what makes the difference. It's close ties with Kaspa OGs and all that. It's just like, it's gonna be the top meme coin on Kaspa. It's the leading one, so it's like without any doubt it's going to be moving and comparable to Shiba Inu on Ethereum, Bonk on Solana. You have that right here in front of your eyes, and if you're fading it, like you're missing out on an opportunity of a lifetime. It's like getting into Kaspa all the way down here. Like Nacho currently is what, like 0.3 I forget exactly what it is, or 0.5% of the market cap of Kaspa. Like 0.5, it's fair value would be 5%. That's a 10x on your Kaspa holdings if you were to invest in Nacho, and sell at a bull market peak, sell it for Kaspa, then you can just keep cycling. It's just there for the long run, and that's what matters. There's not a rug to be pulled in something like this. So that's why I'm so heavily supportive of Nacho alongside Kaspa. So that's just some crazy stuff. Looking at not just charts, but marathon. When we thought they cheated their whole bag of Kaspa, nah, they still holding 34 million Kaspa. That's a heck ton. What is that, like 5.6 million dollars? That's pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. Still down from their 90 or 100 million Kaspa that they used to own, but they're growing their bag slowly but surely. That's good to see. I mean, look at this. Look at Bitcoin. So as we see here, it's very much bottoming out. I wouldn't be surprised to see it to continue to flatline. This is Kaspa with respect to Bitcoin. So even if it continued to flatline, that's nothing to be worried about. The longer it consolidates, the more explosive this run's going to be. There's so much room to grow here. Look at Kaspa with respect to gold. Again, it's pointing upward. It's creating that bottom formation. This is the W. The W. You got the M for McDonald's, where you got to put that McDonald's cap back on. But no, this is the W, meaning we're in it for the dubs, and this is going to continue to move like that. So yeah, consolidating here, no problem. Hold your bags, buy up, while you can below 10 cents, because this is opportunity of a lifetime, like I said. That covers it all. I have so many topics to discuss. We'll go into more topics in future videos. So subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff, and peace out.